Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. Tonight we're going to be talking all about Splatoon, Pokemon, and more. We've got a review of Fallen Angels, and we're also going to be talking about Mario Kart 8. But this is recorded on August 15th, 2022. And my name is Steve, and so glad to talk video games with you guys. Also joined, of course, with Barry. So hey Barry, how's it going?
Hey, Steve. Always a pleasure to be here. And I can't believe it's been 2 weeks already. It just feels like yesterday we did the last episode. And I had to look at my calendar and go, oh, crap, we have NintendoFuse tonight?
Yeah.
No. That's what happens when you get absorbed into a video game.
It's true. It's true. Yep. Also joined by Greg. Hey, Greg. How are you?
Things are going good. Don't think I missed your mistake on the 14th, so Steve time travel confirmed. So
so close. Hey, at least I'm not jumping whole months or years now. It's just one day. So thank you all for joining us live. We see several people in the chat, and if you've never joined us live, we go live every other Monday evening for the podcast, and we'd love to have you in the chat, both on YouTube and Twitch. And so anything that we talk about tonight, games we've been playing, and the news, all that stuff, we'd love to interact with you all throughout the podcast recording in the chat room. So let us know what you think about all that stuff. Let us know what we've been playing or what you have been playing, and we will interact with you as much as we can throughout the episode. Also, if you have not subscribed to us on sorry, I'm just realizing that I have a couple buttons that are missing. But if you have not subscribed to us on Twitter, make sure you do that at NintendoFuse. And also, we have a Discord that you can join us. Both of those links are going to be in the show notes, the YouTube description. We'd love for you to join us and just chat in between the episodes about video games or just life in general. Check in with each other. We have a growing community over both on Twitter and Discord, and we'd love to interact with you all over there. So here we are at episode 256, moving in closer to the end of the year. Probably already thinking about our games of the year. We already know what Barry's going to say. Like, it's not even a secret at this point. Barry, how many hours you got in on Xenoblade so far? Oh, you're muted.
We'll get to that when we get to the games playing.
Okay. Greg, where are you leaning? Is it be Xenoblade as well?
I haven't played it yet, so I don't know.
My guess
I know Barry would like
not.
it for me to say that, but yeah. I mean, I have it reserved at the local library, so I'm waiting on my copies. So one of these podcasts, you will hear me talking about on either how much I'm enjoying the game or how much it's a load of garbage. But
it's going to be one or the other. Nothing in between.
No in between with Greg. The game either gets a 10 or a 2. There's no other number.
That's right. Yeah, let us know what you guys have been playing in the chat or afterwards. If you're watching this after the fact, just throw that in the comments as well here on YouTube. We'd love to know what you've been playing. But let's get into what we have been playing. And Barry, tell us all about Xenoblade and anything else that you may have gotten to in between your sessions with Xenoblade.
I think if there's any other game that there's not Xenoblade, that he just should not have played Xenoblade enough.
Really. So on the Switch, still playing Pokemon Unite, doing it, just like 2 matches, 3 matches every night with my wife. Still enjoying it very much so. It's just a lot of fun. I don't do ranked anymore, really. I just play quick matches and just have fun. I've learned I get too angry at people during ranked when they cause me to lose points because they're just not really playing well. So it's better if I just do the quick matches where there's no real loss. Mario Kart 8, which we'll be talking about, I did do the booster course, Wave 2. Tetris 99, I did play 4 of the 6 days where they had the themes, the special themes where you can get for 10 points. Really easy to get them. I was missing 4 of them. So I got those 4. So I did play some Tetris 99. A game called Book Quest, which we'll be talking more in depth next week for a game chat. And, of course, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I am now done with the game. I've actually put it back in its case and put it on the shelf until new content. To answer your question, Steve, I think I finished the game at around between 100 and 110 hours, and that was with me just exploring, doing a ton of side quests. There was literally a day where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do like these 2 hero quests, and then I'm gonna move on with the story. And suddenly it was 8 o'clock at night, and I was just doing more hero quests and more side quests, and I hadn't moved on. And I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm doing just story. There was just so much content and so much to do. It's great. But then afterwards, I did the post game. I got every hero. I got every hero capped. These their ascensions to 20. I got all the soul hacks, which means I defeated all the unique monsters all over. It just sounds like a lot. It's really easy because a lot of it's just teleportation, but it's a lot of fun. I did every quest. I got all the reputations up. At least every quest I found. Absolutely a joy of a game. Just great. And I will say this, as someone who loves Xenoblade 1, Xenoblade 2, Torna, Future Connected, and X, I had this in my head of where the story was going to go. I'm like, oh, the story's going to go this way, and I'm picturing all this in my head, and it did not. Everything I was picturing in my head, that didn't happen. So I think what I could say is I loved the story. I love where they went with it. I love that they did change things up. I do feel it was sort of a red herring with Future Connected, because they're like, pay attention to Future Connected. That's how the future of Xeno 3, and I don't see the connection there. And I was like, what in Future Connected led to this? I feel like there's a lot missing, and that may be what this new scenario they're adding, this new story scenario, the equivalent of Torna. This might take place as a prequel again before 3 that will explain this, or it could come after. Either way, it has me super excited for Xeno 4, and it's one of those things where they designed this where if you don't play Xeno 1 or 2, you can play Xeno 3, you can completely enjoy the story, and have a great time. And if you've played Xeno 1 and you played Xeno 2, you're going to get those little things that will make you go, oh my God. Just little, like, there's a moment where something transpires, and instead of like Xenoblade 3 music, they're playing a remix of a Xenoblade 2 song, and I legit started tearing up. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I know where this is going at this point, and that musical cue is perfect. So there's a lot of those as Xeno 1 stuff, Xeno 2. But again, it's not necessary. It's definitely more fulfilling those small parts. But again, don't be intimidated. Like, oh, I have to play these other 2 giant RPGs to enjoy this one. No, you absolutely do not. In fact, I hope you start with 3 and then it makes you want to go back to 1 and 2. But it's just that. But I did move on because I'm done with 3. So I started my next game, which on the it's on the Switch too, but I'm playing the PS5 version, which is called Yuri Kill, the Culmination Games. And what this is a visual novel / shmup. It is a very weird hybrid system of it's actually more. It's like a visual novel, escape room, and shmup combo. So it's a really weird thing, and it somehow works. So the basis, just blank basis, is you have these 5 teams, and each team contains a prisoner who has been sentenced to jail, and they've been broken out by this, I guess, organization. I'm still early in the game, and they are paired with an executioner, and the executioner is just a person, and the executioner has a button that they could push at any time to like inject you with poison. You got like this neck thing around your neck, and it will go inject you with poison and kill you. So at the end, the executioner is never in danger, and you've got to go through these scenarios, what they're called like amusements or attractions in this amusement park, and and all the attractions have to do with the murders or the arson or whatever it is that this person went to jail for, thievery, and all the executioners are actually tied to the case. So you play the prisoners pleading with them, please don't kill me. Maybe I'm innocent. Let me try and prove it. And it gets a little Danganronpa there with like or Phoenix Wright with the jury where you got to plead your innocence while doing an escape room, while doing these attractions and figuring it out. And then to plead your final case, you go into a virtual reality shmup where you have to fight them and a shmup and fight waves of enemies and go through these levels and you use cases like, oh, well, I'm innocent and here's why I can prove it. I found this piece of evidence and let me present it to you. So it's as hybrid of visual novel escape room like Zero Escape, shmup with some Danganronpa and Ace Attorney trial stuff, all mismatched into this crazy thing, and so far it's working. I'm still early in the game. It's on Switch as well. I've heard enough good things. I absolutely want to try this. So far I'm enjoying it. I've only started today, so I'm very, very early in the game. But I'd actually give it a recommendation just from what I played. It's just really weird, very quirky. I love that kind of stuff. Other than that, still playing Final Fantasy 14 on the PC. Waiting for 6.2 coming out later this month. And Mario Kart Tour. Pretty heavy in Mario Kart Tour lately since my wife got into it. I'm helping her out and doing the tournament still and just having a blast.
Cool. Let's go to the chat real quick. And we see that Jakester has been playing Triangle Strategy, finally finished Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, kept playing Mario and Luigi Dream Team and the Fire Emblem Echoes. Also started Super Mario Galaxy and finished the Terrace. That's like quite a bit you've been playing there, Jakester. Also, looks like Kevin is asking if we have played Cult of Lamb and ask if we've ever started a cult. And no, I've never started a cult, Kevin. But I don't know if he's talking about in the game or in real life. But neither. I've never. I don't know. Have you guys started a cult?
Speak for yourself, man.
So
don't we have a cult following here for NintendoFuse?
Well, that's a different story. That's we don't serve Kool-Aid and do weird things here. But,
well, maybe you don't, but
Greg, what have you been playing over the last couple of weeks since we last talked?
All right, so pretty much the usual suspects like Fire Emblem Heroes, obviously. So I don't need to throw that in at the end. There's gonna be the Choose Your Legends thing starting here in a few days. So they'll have another Fate channel to show off the newest Choose Your Legends characters. So pretty excited all about all of that. It would surprise Barry, but I actually did jump back into Pokemon Unite. Like my daughter felt like she wanted to jump into it, and she saw like, oh, Glaceon's available. She's like, oh, now I have to play like every day and gotta unlock Glaceon and gotta get it. Glaceon's the best. And like, all right, so it's suffered through a few quick battles there just to get the missions done, and then it's still not playing nearly as enjoyable as it was. Like I don't know what it is. Like I was just going towards like the first thing, just collecting up and trying to level up here like my Pokemon, and then I'd get crossed with the other team members and they were already like level 9, and I was like, what the heck? I can't even, I'm like still level 4. Like I don't know what the heck is going on. Like why is there this huge difference? And so I'm just getting like destroyed. So they were like level 15 and I was like only like level 10 and still getting creamed. So I don't know why it was
you gotta kill them more. You're killing
I killed
Pokemon
every single Pokemon. I killed every wild Pokemon going to the top of the map, and then they're already attacking my base as I'm finishing off another Pokemon. And they're already like level 7, level 8, and I'm like level 4. So I just get creamed because I don't have any good moves, or my moves don't do any damage.
Are there? It's been a while since I played. Do they have like upgrades that automatically get you at a certain level when you start? Maybe
they don't give you upgrades like instant, but there's gear that you could equip. So if you have like level 1 gear and they have level 30 gear, they're gonna have an advantage. And they just added Pokemon emblems with all the different Pokemon that give you new boosts as well. So if they have emblems and you don't, there's going to be a severe disadvantage there for you, which is unfortunate going into quick match because it's going to pair you with anybody.
Yeah, like the first 2 quick matches, we just got destroyed. Like the first one, we like didn't even like score any goals. Like the entire team didn't, and we just got crushed. Like they were just destroying, putting points in at our base, and all 4 of us were just leaving the base, getting killed by their level 15 Pokemon, and we're like all like level 10 or less. So I don't know what's going on there, but that wasn't very
at this
fun.
point. What I've learned from those games and like Rocket League, Greg, just blame it on your teammates. It's okay.
It's always their
it's always their
never
fault.
yours.
Yeah, just 2 of the teammates. Me and my daughter did perfectly fine. We were
That's
we were
right.
running the team.
If it wasn't for them, yeah.
There are actually matches where I've won where my wife and I were the only 2 that scored and they did nothing. I was like, yeah, okay,
Nice.
we literally did win this match.
Yeah, other than the unenjoyable Pokemon Unite experience, we did play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I really enjoyed like the new courses and got to even play with my brother a little bit yesterday, so that was also fun there. Also was playing some Fallen Angel, which we'll be talking about right after we're done talking about these games. Still playing Animal Crossing, still designing my island and keeping up with things. I'm getting pretty close to finishing the art museum section, so then the museum will be a full 100% complete. Like everything else has been done for ages now, but just that stinking art stuff has been taking forever because it always gives me the art that I already have or gives me fakes. So it was been a long time coming. I even try to go to Harv's Island each day just to buy a fake piece just so it spawns in a new piece of art to try to get ones I don't have. So slowly but surely chipping that down. And then there is a reason behind the shirt. I actually did get Kirby Star Allies from the library, so I can try that out, as Forgotten Land was pretty incredible. Me and my daughter Belle were playing the first few levels in the first world, and it was pretty fun. It's like a little platformer thing, and you could invite like other characters to join you, kind of like Super Mario Brothers U style, and like you kind of all work together and destroy other enemies, and you can befriend other ones and switch them out. It's kind of cool how they use up the different powers and stuff. Like you can also mix and match, like power up your teammates. Like you can power up the sword with like fire and stuff. So like it makes like a fire sword attack or whatever. So it's pretty in depth from what I've seen so far, and hoping to play some more while I still have the game for the rest of the month.
Nice.
And that's what I've been up to. And my birthday is on Friday, so hoping to see if I get any more games or anything else that comes out later this week.
Nice. Well, let's sing happy birthday to Greg. Barry, you start.
Happy birthday to Greg.
You're actually doing it. I wasn't sure.
Why would I not?
I don't know. I just thought
I hope everyone hears this.
I thought it'd throw you off, and you were like, "What?"
Well,
you
just
totally
see
went
this,
with it.
Greg. I'm wishing you a happy birthday. Steve
I
is
know,
all
that's
like,
what I was
"Oh,
about to
he's
say."
really gonna wish you."
No,
Yeah, I'm really gonna do it. Come on.
I wish you happy birthday. I just thought I'd throw you off by asking you to sing all of a sudden, but no, you just didn't even miss a beat. So I'm impressed.
Steve, I am so disappointed in you that you would expect me to not. Throw in the towel.
We should sing in the chat too. You guys take it away. I'm not singing on the podcast, but I'll just say happy birthday,
I
Greg.
think Barry was going to give me a copy of Xenoblade 3 for my birthday, right?
Oh, there you go.
I'm waiting to see your experience with the library.
Nice. Yeah, everybody throw your happy birthday to Greg in the chat and the comments, and be sure to let him know on Friday in our Discord as well. Yeah, so looks like everybody's chatting a lot about continue to talk about Trigger Witch as well. People talking Trigger Witch in the chat, and looks like a lot of other indie games and stuff people are talking about. So yeah. So keep throwing what you've been talking about in the chat room and let us know. I have been playing, of course, Rocket League. Also got back to Fall Guys a little bit. So played a little more rounds like that. And I love that I do have it on everything. I think I mentioned this on our previous podcast, but it's free to play, and then I have it pretty much on every system now. So I'm like, it's great to just jump in, play a few rounds, move on. And there was a mode. I don't know if it's still up right now, but they had a mode that was all like soccer themed. And so that was fun. There was just like golden goals. It was just like one goal and you're done. And I actually won a couple rounds that way because it was based on teams. So that was fun. And I got some trophies that I normally wouldn't have gotten because I've never won an entire game. But because it was a team-based thing and was able to move through quickly, I was able to play several rounds and actually won a couple times. So that was fun. Also played Multiverses. I don't know if you guys have tried it out yet.
Yep.
There's a lot of love around this game. I am not one of those people.
Same.
I think it is still in beta, to their defense. So it's not fully rolled out yet, but it definitely feels like it's not fully rolled out yet. It is not fully polished like it should be. And the only thing that I kept thinking is I want my Smash Brothers back. I just wanted to to launch Smash Brothers and play that instead. I thought it was cool that it was free to play, so I went ahead and downloaded it. But then you're only limited to Superman and who is it, Shaggy, I think. That's all you can play as or something. And then like, I don't know, like you can unlock some characters the more you play, but the rest of them you have to pay to play or pay to unlock them and all this stuff, and which totally makes sense. But as I start adding it up, I'm like, I could sink in way more than $60 into this game if I wanted the full experience. And then the menu system is way overly complicated. It's like a lot of the other free to play style menus where it's like, oh, some stuff's over here and some stuff's over here and some stuff's down here. And we're not going to explain any of it to you. You're just going to have to figure it out by clicking everywhere. After a while, I was just like, I played it for like a half an hour or so. And I was like, no, I'm done. If I want an experience like this, I'm just going to go back to Smash. So yeah.
See, you're not alone. I had that same experience. And I think if it was just like an indie Smash Brothers clone, I could see doing a free to play. With the IP attached to this, I think this would be better off. Like right now, while it's in beta, that's fine. Let it be beta, let it be free to test out. But I think if they just did the retail package with all characters unlocked, $60, all that stuff, no free to play bull crap, and then they just did like a fighter expansion pass like Smash Brothers did, I think they would make money. With those IP, I think it would be attached. And if they wanted to do a free version that was literally just a few characters that you can go online to experience it, that's fine too. But like you said, it when I played it, the menus definitely lagged, and it felt like they were trying to take advantage of me and my wallet. Like, oh, you don't need this costume, but you totally need this costume. And oh, you better make sure you're doing all these daily stuff because otherwise you won't get these characters. And I'm like shoving in my face. I had the same, and it played okay, but I just like I shouldn't be playing Smash Brothers. Like, why am I playing this?
Right. Yeah. And there's a couple of the buttons that it's so hard when you get into that style of a game. My muscle memory totally expects the controls of Smash Brothers, and I know you can like redo the controls to your liking, but I didn't at the beginning, and I was totally jumping with the wrong button and doing all these different things. So yeah, I mean I won. When I went online and played, I was like, I won, I beat everybody, but I didn't have a fun experience, so it didn't make me want to keep going back more and more. Looks like a lot of people in the chat are also not excited about multiverses. So either they played it, didn't like it, or also have no interest in playing it. So I thought I was alone, but seems like right here in this NintendoFuse cult community, we have some like-minded people here against multiverses. So. Also played some Fallen Angel, which we'll talk about in just a bit, and also Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that we'll talk about in just a bit. So yeah, I got a few more games that I normally do. Not a whole lot of gaming going on this last couple of weeks, but a couple more games than just Rocket League. So that's always fun.
That's an improvement.
It's an improvement for sure. Barry, we got this game chat all about Fallen Angel. You want to kick it off? Let us know a little bit about this game, and then we can dig into our playtime with it.
Sure. So, first off, thank you to V Publishing for providing us with codes to review this game. So, this game called Fallen Angel, it's, like I said, published by V Publishing. This is an action-adventure role-playing strategy game. This came out July 19th, 2022, so just under a month ago as of this recording. And you play Lucifer. You literally play Lucifer, who has been cast down by God, and you have to work your way back up by killing the archangels and gaining new relics and pretty much saying like, oh, you know what, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. And despite that, it's not like a religious heavy game at all. It's very loosely based on it. All the characters have different, like the drawings are really cool. It's got local co-op, which I didn't get to play. But the nice thing is this is not a roguelike game. This is a very, it's a static game. So every world you go, every level you go to is always going to be the same, and you can traverse it. It's very open-ended. You can go any way you want, but you have to defeat all the archangels in order to beat the game. There's quests, there's sub-quests, there's different characters to interact with. The bosses are all unique, and when you beat the bosses, you actually gain, like Mega Man style, you gain one of their abilities. Tons of abilities, tons of relics that you could equip and create your own load. So let's go to you, Greg, first. Thoughts on this?
I only got like a little bit of playtime in it, but like I've only done like the first like 2 or 3 levels. But what I did play was I found to be incredibly difficult. I found myself dying quite frequently in like the first like the second and third level that I was playing. Um, there was pretty much just like a bunch of enemies that just spawn like right when the level starts, and then they killed me a few times when I initially started, and then after I took them down, then like a boss appeared, and then he took me down several times before I got that figured out because I was using all the healing options available, and I was still getting creamed and couldn't really get a lot of hits in to take him down. But I did finish him off right when I had finished my playtime with it. So I mean, it has been a pretty solid game, but I did think that the difficulty spike jumped up quite a bit between like the first level and the second level because I found myself dying significantly more. Thankfully, there's not like a live system, so you just pretty much just respawn and repeat the stuff that you've already done. But obviously, I would have preferred to have like a checkpoint in between like the starting the level and then that one level with the boss, like the first angel. But um, other than that, it was a pretty solid and fun experience for me. I don't know what you thought of it, Steve.
Yeah, that's interesting that you talk about the difficulty spike in between levels because I actually thought it was fairly easy, but until I got to that first boss, then I felt the difficulty ramped up a lot for that first boss. But I didn't find it as much before that. But as soon as I got to him, I was like, oh wow, like before I was just running through, smashing the attack button, and that was it. But all of a sudden I got to him, and I'm like, oh, I've got to finally use these other moves I have that I haven't been using up until this point. So I also saw the difficulty ramp up, but later than what you did. But also,
well, I think it was
similar
around the same
experience.
point because it was like the level that had like all those yellow figures that just start like right when you spawn on the level. I think it's like
Yes.
the start
Yeah.
of like level 2 or
Yep.
level 3. Like
Yep.
you just like start in the middle and then you're like immediately surrounded by like
Yep.
3 or 4 things, and then a few more spawn after you take those out, and
Yep.
then the boss spawns like immediately after that, and he starts like shooting out his attacks right away too.
Yeah. Yep. It's the same area. Yeah. I forgot that it started like that, and it was very abrupt. And I think going into that area was all of a sudden you're there and you're surrounded, and yeah, that was a little jarring, I guess, the first time. And I think I made it through them, but I definitely died on the boss the first time around for sure. But it is nice that I didn't lose anything. Like at that point, I just spawned back again, started again, and was able to beat him the next time. So that was nice because I feel like if they moved me back at the beginning, yes, while old games always did that, it would have been really annoying. And so I was glad that, yeah, like you said, there's no live system or anything like that. You just respawn.
Yeah, that's how I would have thought the checkpoint would have fit better right before the boss, like after you take them out. That would have been more appreciated because every time I died to the boss, I'm like, oh, now I got to fight all these soldiers once again, and like they really chip you down and like use some of my healing stuff unless you can get them without taking much damage, which apparently I was awful at dodging. But
Yeah. The other thing that I thought as well is I feel like it does feel like more of a beta in a way. Like I feel like there's certain things that didn't seem as polished as they could have been. And knowing this game has been out for a couple of years on other systems, it's interesting. Like I feel like the jumping aspect is not clean. Thankfully, I didn't encounter anything where I had to be really precise with the jumping, but it was very floaty. It seemed like, and so it didn't make the game difficult at all, but it was just weird to have a very floaty jump. Later on, you do, of course, get wings and things like that make it even more floaty on purpose. But in the beginning, it felt very floaty. But again, you don't need to be really precise with your jumps, so it was okay. It just didn't match the overall experience, I think. And so speaking of the overall experience, I'll get into this before I pass it back to you, Barry. I was shocked. I don't think I expected when you passed over the code and we got it. It's classified as an RPG, and so I went in with this mindset of turn-based RPG. Okay, I got to make sure I have enough time set down and everything. This is more of a Zelda RPG. like style, and it's action based and everything. So I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to because of the way the game is. I thought it was going to be a completely different experience. So yeah, I was really pleased with that, and I love moving around, kind of top down, kind of action oriented, and the RPG elements were not overwhelming at all, which I really like about that because it wasn't a ton of stuff that we had to dive into or anything. So, but yeah, back to you, Barry. What do you think?
So yeah, I finished the game. I just got absorbed into it. Like the difficulty. Uh, I felt that first boss. I beat him without dying, but what I had to do was, like you said, it was like I had to start using abilities. I was like, all right, I can't just go up and smack him. So that's when I started using the gun. So I was like, I was roll away. I would use the gun and kind of kite him around, and I was like, oh, this is dealing some damage. And then he went to like one of the pillars, and I would have to shoot the pillar. And I was like, all right, this is teaching me I can't just button mash. That's what this boss is doing to me. Have to use the roll, have to dodge, have to, be strategic about it. And then after that boss, it opens up. It opens up. You go to this hotel where it's like, oh, this is like your hub, and then you get the teleport pillars. You could teleport around the world, and you can go north, you can go east, you can go west. It doesn't matter. You go wherever you want. You can't beat the game until you found all the angels and defeat all the bosses and get all the moves. And I like that because it leaves you like if you go east and you're like, oh man, I just got creamed. Let me go west. I will say I went into this game thinking I'm going to attack and kill everything like Zelda. Like I'm just going to kill everything. That is the worst mentality in this game. Do not fight everything. There are plenty of times where you just need to go past enemies because they will drain you of everything you have. There are some tough regular enemies. The bosses are all very cool. I love the way they just each mechanic is different. Each of the abilities is different. The relics you can equip, none of them truly feel overpowered, and there was some really cool combinations. Like one of them, this was one boss that you have to fight, and it's like a one-on-one. It's super difficult, and I was ready to throw my controller down. I was like, I can't do this. And I was looking through my relics, and I found a cool combination where it was like you deal, you take more damage, but you deal like 500% more damage when you're under 33% HP. And I was like, use that with the ability to drain and heal as I hit. And it was just like I was just smacking him, and once they got me under 33%, one hit, I just like killed him, and I was like, yeah, okay, that was pretty cool. Like I wouldn't use this for regular enemies; it's too risky. But for this boss, it worked, and there's a lot of situational abilities to equip, and I like that. Um, you can get duplicates, which I found kind of weird. Like I got a relic that increases my attack, and then I got another one, and I'm like, well, why do I need two? Is it doubled? But no, it's not. It's just literally I got two of them because it's random what you get, and sometimes you can get doubles. But overall, I was very impressed. I think the graphics are like Hyper Light Drifter in that sense. It's a really cool aesthetic. The story is funny. Like you got different options you can say to the bosses. You're literally a smart ass, which is fantastic.
Do those answers, because I haven't played through it multiple times, do those answers change anything, or you just get to respond different ways? Okay,
you get to respond different ways because I've died to bosses and then I'm like, I'm gonna respond a different way and see what happens.
That's
you're
pretty much what I did on the first.
Yeah.
I did on that first boss. I did get to hear all three of them, and then I was like, "All right, which one do I want to hear this next time? Okay, let's try this one this next time." Like, oh, I did better when I listened to this one. Let's listen to this one.
I will say overall, like the length is, I think I beat it between 5 and 6 hours, and that was me going around. I had to find the last Archangel. I was like, where is it? I couldn't. I missed it. So it's one where you could take longer depending on how much you want. But it's not like I'm going to sink 100 hours into this game. It is definitely a shorter experience, which I do appreciate. Actually, right there, I see main story 5.5 hours, so it's pretty on the money with what I experienced. So would you, going back to you, Greg, is this something you plan to continue?
Yes, because I did enjoy the time with it, even though it was kind of like an unexpected difficulty spike that I had talked about. I think it's just kind of more getting more familiarized with the system and realizing you can use the other weapons. Like I didn't really figure out the gun until I finally the time that I actually beat him. Like I think the game like prompted me like, oh, you can like hit this to use like a gun. I'm like, I didn't know I had a gun, and then it was just like, wow, this is like stunning him. Now he's like not even attacking. I can go up there and swing
Yeah.
the sword at him and get even more damage on him. Like this made him so much easier. Like I wish there was like a I somehow either missed the tutorial, wasn't paying
There's a
attention when they
tutorial on the
introduced it,
gun.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a
but I
tutorial on
totally
the
was
gun.
not. Yeah, I totally missed that until like it prompted me to like use it and like explained it. Because I mean, I was pretty much like my initial mindset was just going in there, just try to slash him a number of times, jump back, hide behind a pillar, let him do some attacks, then go back in there, try to slash him some more. There was some times where I got him down like a third, like 33% left or whatever, and it was just kind of realizing how to do it like with other power ups and different weapons and strategies. So I do plan to continue. I did enjoy my time with it, but there is that initial difficulty spike that me and Steve were talking about. You're just kind of thrown into it and expected to start performing right away, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I plan on continuing to play it, and I think it's definitely one of those games. I love the, I've kind of harped on a little bit of the aesthetic of a lot of games that kind of going back to the retro kind of graphics and everything. But I was not annoyed by it this time. I was like, it fit because it's a little different. It's kind of that aesthetic, but it's a different take on it, and I really liked what I saw. And so, but it also looks great in handheld. I actually played this in handheld and will probably continue to play it in handheld. I think it'd be a great experience, like when I'm traveling here and there, and you can pick it up and play a few levels and put it down, sort of experience, or you can play for a longer period of time as well. So yeah, I think that's great. The only thing that I haven't mentioned yet that I was kind of annoyed by was, and I don't know if you guys had this experience. It may just be my Switch, maybe because I have a lot of games on SD card or something like that. But it seemed to hang up in the menus quite a bit. When I first booted up the game, it looked like it was frozen, honestly. And then I ended up hitting the buttons several times. Nothing worked. And then all of a sudden I was seeing menus in Italian because apparently I picked Italian as the language somehow as I was trying to figure out how to get through the very beginning. And then every once in a while it still got hung up on different menu systems. The game ran smooth, but the menus kind of got hung up. So I don't know if that's a glitch. I don't know if it was my Switch system only, but that was kind of annoying. So I hope that gets fixed because it just kind of it's an unpleasant experience navigating the menus when they get hung up like that. But I don't know if you guys got experience like that or not.
I don't know if mine was particularly slow, but I do kind of like understand. Like I did see like that language thing. It felt a little bit to come up, but I also wasn't like trying to like be impatient and just be like, okay, let's load the game and pressing all the buttons. But like
After
did
about
feel like there was
2 minutes of sitting on that screen, I finally started hitting buttons. But yeah, it took a while.
But yeah, then like I did see like the language screen load up, and then I think there was a few other things that it finalized, and then everything just went through smooth and started a new game. But I did think that language thing took a little bit to show up, though.
Yeah.
It only has to do that the first time, which is usually good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did the same time when I booted it up. It did have a long, like I thought it was frozen too. So I had that the same thing. I'm like, did it freeze? And then it came up. I was like, oh, okay. And when I tried it a couple other times, it was still long. So I'm like, all right, it's slower to boot up. And like that's not that bad. I didn't have many problems with the menus. Yeah, I think once or twice it did have a little bit of a slowdown at one point. But it was very minor. I feel like it could be easily altered with a quick patch.
Yeah.
But it's not even like that early startup loading. Like that's not a deal breaker. That's just wait an extra minute, whatever.
It's more just like if you're aware of it, then you just wait.
Yeah.
But if you're not aware of it, I thought my game broke or something.
So I do want to point out.
I was gonna say, just try starting up the Wii U and just pretend like it's gotta wait for it to load.
The Wii U.
Yeah, exactly.
So this game is $14.99. So we'll go quickly. Greg, would you recommend this game at $14.99?
Yes, I really enjoyed the small experience I had, and would definitely feel it was justified of paying $15 for this game.
Hmm, interesting.
All right. What about you,
I
Steve?
I would say wait till it's on sale. I think at 5.5 hours, it's a good 5.5 hour experience. I would say. I haven't even played through it, knowing that it's going to be a good 5.5 hour experience, but 5.5 hours for $15, probably not going to play through it multiple times. At least I wouldn't. I'd wait till it's on sale for $10 or less. Would be my recommendation. But if something like this you're really into it, then I'd say go for it. But if you're kind of on the fence, this would definitely be one of those games that I would recommend waiting till it's on sale. But definitely still recommend it though.
You know, normally I'm very picky about a $15 digital game. I'm more of a fan of physical anyway. But after playing through it and having the experience, I do think it's worth $15 because I had a really, really good time. If you can get on a sale, to me it's a no-brainer. But it's one of those things where if you like action RPGs, if you like Diablo, Zelda, you know, Hades, stuff like that. But there's no rogue, things. There's no penalty to death. Everything is static. If you go to the right the first time and you die, you go to the right, you're gonna get the same enemies and the same stuff is gonna be there. I do think it is worth it. Personally. Um, but yeah, once again, we want to say thank you very much to V Publishing for letting us review this game and give us the codes and talk about it. And hopefully, if this sounds entertaining to you, you go pick this game up too.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's move on. Another game that we're going to be talking about is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And we're going to quickly chat about the the booster course pass wave 2. We've recently got all these extra courses that come out in wave 2. And in that whole selection of courses, we got New York Minute, Mario Circuit 3, Calamari Desert, Waluigi Pinball, Sydney Sprint, Snowland, Mushroom Gorge, and Sky High Sunday. So lots of different courses, and again, you can get this by just purchasing the booster course, or you can also get it if you are a Nintendo Switch expansion pass member. So yeah, did you guys get much time with these extra courses, and what's your first impressions of these? Barry, let's go to you first.
Yeah, I did both of the circuits, and I already played a lot of these versions on tour. In fact, this came out like Sunday. The Sunday course came out on Mario Kart 8 like a week before it hit tour because it just came out on tour. But I actually didn't play it until I played on tour first because I wanted to
Oh,
finish Xenoblade 3 first before I popped back in Mario Kart 8. So it was interesting to see the difference right away. I love what they did with again New York Minute, where they did each lap as a different thing. Again, trying to incorporate all of them. The same with Sydney. Um, they that's great because there's so many different tour versions, and it's great to just get this one master version with all of them in there. Uh, I love these courses. I think it's great to see them come back to life. And there's differences, like it's not like, oh, these are just the tour versions brought in. Like, no, these are different than the tour versions. There's absolutely new versions or new additions they did to the existing courses. This is a no-brainer. This is the easiest thing they could do until Mario Kart 9 comes out on the Switch 2 or Pro or whatever. And I'm kind of shocked it took this long to get Wave 2. I feel like we should have been talking about this in July or June even. Uh, like Snowland is one I don't think is actually on tour yet, so I'm expecting Snowland in the next week or two. And it's just great to see the love. Just there's so many for people who don't play tour. These are all new, and for people who haven't played the other games in a while, it's like a nice refresher or even new. So I think they did a great job. I think there's a lot of polish, and of course they also updated Coconut Mall because we complained about it, and they had to update it for us.
Yep. Greg, what did you think of the new courses?
I think this is another incredible batch. The first batch was very solid, and this batch is right there with it, if not just even slightly better than the first 8. Um, I really enjoyed like the tour tracks like that Barry was talking about, like the New York Minute and the Sydney one, how they differentiate the laps. I mean, I think that's a very creative twist that they've been doing on just for Mario Kart tracks in general, because it kind of just makes things a little bit different. Like it's not just like, oh, here's like playing Baby Park, like you're just going around the same circle like 7 times. Like this is like 3 unique laps, and it's not like completely the same, and it's more like ways to remember to go through the course. So it's not always going to be just picture perfect and thinking it's like the same lap each time. On that note, I was kind of surprised that they mixed up Calamari Desert to that, because previously, like, you just kind of did it as a normal track, but this one they have you worked into going on the railroad tracks, like on the second lap, and like actually taking like that unintended shortcut that was on the 64. So I thought that was really cool, and I really enjoyed being able to play like going on the tracks and actually having that as part of the race. That's still one of my favorite tracks from the 64, and one of my favorite tracks like of ever in Mario Kart history. So that was incredible to be able to play that one again. Were you going to say something,
That was
Barry, about
actually
it?
because of that was because of a tour. So what happened was they added Calamari Desert into tour, and it was the N64 version. And then what they did is they did a Calamari Desert 2, where they made it was a instead of a loop, it was a one way race where you had the different checkpoints, and you went on the track, and it was a completely different version of Calamari Desert. So this version they actually merged the two versions of Calamari Desert. So the first lap is the N64 version, and on the second lap, you're doing 2/3 of the other Calamari Desert 2 that was exclusive to Tour. So
Ah.
it's neat how they're still doing things like that.
Yeah, so that was obviously really cool and unusual. I mean, while the Luigi Pinball is another favorite of mine from the DS, so it was great to see that one back as well. Mushroom Gorge was a favorite from Wii, so that was still really cool. And even though they added in like the floaty part of it, if the blue mushroom in the cave, where you just kind of start gliding, and that was really cool the way they added that feature in there. And the brand new course, the Sky High Sunday, was a lot of fun as well. I was kind of getting like that Ninja Castle kind of vibe with like some multiple routes right at the beginning with the gliding section. So I thought that was a really cool course and a nice addition in general, and nice to see some course that has like the anti-gravity mechanics. I know that wasn't really present in the first 8 courses from the first wave. But as Barry said, I'm surprised we're talking about this in mid-August and not like in June and July. I figured that was closer to that E3 timeframe we would have had the Wave 2, but I
Yeah,
don't know when we'll get Wave 3. Probably Christmas. I don't know.
maybe.
I'm still really shocked that both the Ninja Course, and Sky High, the Sunday, aren't labeled as Tour, because they both either debuted in Tour or they debuted a week after in Tour, but they were both designed for Tour, and it's just weird that they're just no game. Like, no, they're Tour courses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that a lot of what you guys have said already were notes I took down as well. But yeah, it was fun to just play those tour courses on what I will call a regular Mario Kart game, because I'm not a big fan of tour, but I loved those courses. They were fun, and now to have them in a traditional Mario Kart game is a lot of fun. So it's really cool that they're bringing those over. I also noticed the Calamari Desert thing, and it's cool to know like that history, Barry. I had no idea that they did that, but it totally makes sense now. But it threw me for a loop when I first like started. I was like, wait a second, this is new. But it was fun. And it's really easy to get some drifting boost around when you're driving on the track, because you're kind of forced to like drive right behind people when the train's coming. And then yeah, Mushroom Gorge it's fun just to go back. I don't know. I also played this handheld. I'm playing my Switch more handheld lately, and I realized like I don't know. It only felt like that on the Mushroom Gorge course, but I wasn't able to get the trick boosts by hitting the ZR button. I don't know if it's just maybe my Joy-Con is not it's worn out by this point, or what. But I didn't feel like I was able to get those trick boosts like I did, playing it on the Wii. I feel like that was really easy to get during that time, but it was. At that time, it was I was still just shake, so maybe it was easier to hit the right timing when I was shaking my controller instead of hitting a button. And then Sky High Sunday, also, I really enjoyed it. I heard that a lot of other people didn't really like it as much, but I really enjoyed it. Like you said, Greg, it was cool to have another anti-gravity focus level. But there were certain times where like I didn't know where I was going, and I feel like you were going up so much, and then you're going to drop down, and there's so many different areas you could go, and so it was weird to have that in a Mario Kart course where it was unknown platforms that I was jumping to, and so it wasn't necessarily bad, but it was just different for Mario Kart, because normally you see pretty much where you're going all the time. So to have like something you're just kind of blind jumps down there was weird, and I had to get used to it because it was like, oh no, where do I go? And I did fall off several times because of that. But yeah, it was still, I had a lot of fun, and like you said, it was great to have the carts moving or the cars moving on Coconut Mall again. Although it's weird what they're doing instead of, I mean, it was weird to start with, right? I mean, they're just moving back and forth. Like, why would cars do that? But now they're spinning. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with these cars. Like moving back and forth, just spinning in place. Either way, it's weird. But at least they're moving now, and it makes a lot more sense than just being stationary and really easy to navigate that area. So
I didn't even replay Coconut Mall, so I had no idea they updated it.
Oh, yep.
But
yeah, Barry let me know on Twitter as soon as they posted it. Apparently, I think the news came out right after our last podcast when I was complaining about it or something, and Barry's like, "Hey, look, they actually listened to us." So.
Yeah, I also was testing Lakitu's capabilities on Calamari Desert, so I was like, well, what if I don't want to ride on the tracks? And then like, nope, Lakitu like, whoop, set you right down on the tracks. Like, well, maybe I can jump on the tracks on like the first lap and like kind of go through, because there was like that ramp they can make it over the fence. Nope, Lakitu's right there to stop you and put you right back on the thing. Like, so I was really testing his capabilities, I felt like, just to make sure he couldn't do some N64 shenanigans. But
yep,
nice to see that it's working really good.
Yeah,
I tried to do that too. I was like, ooh, N64, let's go. No.
Nope. So I think we're pretty much all in agreement. You should get this booster pass for sure. I mean, just based on what we've gotten already and so many more promised levels to come, it's a great deal. But I think my recommendation is just become an expansion pack member, and you get it all thrown in and so much more. Barry, Greg, anything else you want to say about the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC before we move on?
Let's hope we don't have to wait long for the next one.
Yeah, I was ready to say I was hoping that we could at least get another wave, if not 2 waves, before the end of the year. But I'm thinking we're only getting 3 waves per year because it's 6 waves and all to the end of next year. So
yeah, that does make sense. So, well, let's move on to some news. And it's been a fairly light couple weeks since our last episode, but there were a few different things that came out over the last couple weeks that we want to get into and make sure that you guys know about, and then we can kind of discuss them a little bit. So, Greg, tell us a little bit about the Pokémon Presents presentation that happened on August 3rd.
Okay, so they announced that the Pokemon World Championships will be pretty much over my birthday weekend, this weekend, from August 18th to the 21st. So pretty much you can sign up to enter into the championship and hopefully to win some fun prizes and trophies and whatnot. For Scarlet and Violet, we got to see more of the legendaries, Karadian and Meridian. And then pretty much it's going to be more of an open world RPG style game that has 3 grand stories that they call them, with one being the traditional 8 gyms, take each of them down, and they also announced that you'd be able to do the gyms in any particular order that you want. So no longer are you like always doing the grass, then fire, then water, or whatever. You get to do the 8 gyms in whatever order that you want to do them in. There's several new Pokemon like Fidough and Satan. I'm very bad at pronouncing Pokemon names. I'm sorry. I'm still new to the Pokemon series in general. Found out about the Terasol phenomenon, which makes Pokemon shine like gems and give them boost, change their types and whatnot. So you can alter like Pikachu's type from electric to something else. Let's see. Get also have some Ultra Beasts have come to Pokemon Go, and there's a Pokemon Go Fest 2022 finale, which will be on August 27th, with Ultra Beast gathering and encounters with a mythical Pokemon Shaman. There's gonna be some daily adventure incense, which allows you to attract Pokemon not normally seen in your area. Pokemon Unite will be getting some new features for the first anniversary. The Pika Party All Pikachu Quick Battle, the Ultra Beast Buzzwole joining Unite battles, and even more events are planned for September. And then finally, Mewtwo has returned to Pokemon Cafe Remix, along with Victini and Latios, with Latios scheduled to appear later in the future.
Nice. So a lot that they did cover, and I don't know, I'll just jump in and say, like, I think, it's a lot there, but at this point, I'm just like, bring on Scarlet and Violet, let me play those, and then the rest of the stuff was like, okay, like, it's fun, it's exciting. I'm glad they're still moving forward with all this Pokemon stuff, all the Go things. That's really exciting. If I still played it, it's every time they announce something, I'm like, should I get back into Pokemon Go again? And then I decide not to. But it would be cool to, if I was still into it. Yeah, the rest of the time, I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts. Still excited about Scarlet and Violet, and those are the things that really jumped out to me. Love that they're doing this whole thing with focusing on the open world environment and all that stuff that we learned from the legends and everything. I think that's great. So, Barry, what did you think about it?
Yeah, the Pokemon Scarlet Violet thing is I'm really haven't been that excited for a new Pokemon game. Even though I played like Sword and Shield, I was excited for it, but it was more like, all right, let's go into the grind until Arceus. And Arceus, was what I was looking for in a Pokemon game since the N64 days. And I loved Arceus. I had such a blast with it that when they're like, "Oh yeah, like open world again and not open level," because Arceus was open worlds. You clicked where you wanted to go, and you got to go to a really big map and explore and have fun, and it was a great experience. But this is gonna be open world. That's a different beast. Really excited to see how it plays, how it works. So I have high hopes. As for the other stuff, the Pika party in Pokemon Unite's been fun and definitely interesting to just have everybody be Pikachu, which makes me see that they can make all 8 be the same character. And I wish they would allow that to happen, because there's nothing worse than someone else picking your character before you go, and I need to go as an attacker, and you picked my favorite attacker, and now I'm stuck. I have to pick a different attack. Like, I want to see them allow that. It's like when Street Fighter 2 first came out. Like, you couldn't have 2 of the same until Turbo, and that was one of the features. Now there could be 2 Ryus, and there could be Chun-Li's. So I'm happy that they're adding stuff, and Pokemon Cafe and Pokemon Go. Not games I play, but you know what? I don't see a lot of people like, oh, I don't care. That's fine. It's not intended for you. It's great that they're still updating these games. It's great that they're adding stuff for those gamers. They're just That's how it should be. They're giving information, they're providing information, and overall, I was happy with it because, I saw enough. Like, I don't need to see any more Scarlet Violet. I just don't. I don't need to see any more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sold. I'm ready for the game. Looking forward to November.
Yep. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, I was pretty much going to say I was echoing your thoughts. Like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet stuff was incredible, and definitely beyond excited to actually see where they go with this one. I know it was like Sword and Shield was my entry point, so I didn't really get to see the grind over the years of repeating that same formula. But it finally sounds like they're going in the right direction, and kind of what they did with Zelda after following that formula for ages where you always had to go through the same dungeon order and whatnot. It's nice to see that Pokemon's kind of going that direction as well. As it feels like it's more suited for that kind of game where you can just go around and explore and find different Pokemon. So I'm almost kind of surprised it took this long to get there, but also very excited to be part of it and be able to experience it with everybody else. So Scarlet and Violet, I'm beyond sold at this point. Like, I'm very excited for those. And then pretty much everything else is pretty much wasn't exactly for me, but it was still really cool to see that they are updating it for people that do play. I mean, no shortage of players in Pokemon Unite when I was playing over this past podcast. It was definitely great to see that they're still supporting that and keeping that going. And obviously, Pokemon Go is still going somewhat strong despite some turbulent COVID times, but it's still cool that they're keeping that afloat as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going to the chat, looks like Jakester says, I'm still skeptical of Scarlet and Violet, but it does look a lot better than both Sword and Shield and Legends. Yeah, I while I loved what I saw in Legends, I decided not to jump into it, but yeah, I'm not sure which one I'm going to get, Scarlet or Violet yet, but definitely going to get one of those, and excited about the new directions it's going. It's cool to see like they're going to have 3 different storylines and things like that, so you can do the whole traditional 8 gym, work through the 8 gyms, but there's more to the game than that, and that's really exciting, I think, to be able to explore all that and see them expanding on the game over the time, because people are going to still want the traditional Pokemon game that they know and love and have been playing for years and years and years, but it's so cool that they haven't necessarily taken that away. They're just adding to, which I think is the appropriate way to go about it. So yeah.
I think that's something they're taking from Legends as well, because Legends, I feel, was definitely almost a prototype for this. And not to say the Legends was bad, because it absolutely was not. And I know the biggest gripe people have are, the graphics don't look as, like a PlayStation 5 overclocked or whatever. Like, it doesn't need to. It's about fun. And to me, it does. I don't care. As long as the game is fun. And it was. And Pokemon Legends didn't have gyms because it was set in the past. There were no gyms. And it was all about the Pokedex and about doing different things to fill the Pokedex, and not just catching the Pokemon, but catching enough of the same, and seeing them use certain moves or use certain moves against them and how they react. So I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be one of the storylines they do, or if that's going to be something they have in addition to filling out a Pokedex in a new way. I know some people aren't the happiest with this gem version, because it's just like a hat, sparkly in a hat, versus the Mega Evolutions or stuff like that. What I do want to see them come back with for sure is Alpha Pokemon, because I thought that was from Legends. I thought that was such a really smart idea, because if you have any animal in the wild and you have a herd, there's an alpha in the herd. Like, that's something from real life we've discovered. There's alphas with animal groups, and it's one of those where I love the fact that there was be an alpha of a Pokemon with the lesser ones around it, and if you caught that one, it was stronger. It made you really want to go for it, and the stats were still random. You can still get a shiny alpha. You can get ones with good IVs or bad IVs, different temperaments. That's fine, but to me, that's very realistic. And it made it, when you saw an alpha, it was like, oh god, like, am I going to be able to take this? Like, it was actually something of an exciting thing to discover, because they were static. They were if you found an alpha location, it would always spawn there. So you had to make mental notes. Where are the alphas going to spawn? And some of them are very hard to catch. So even because this is open world again, I'd like to see alphas come back.
Yeah, that would make sense for sure. Well, yeah. If you guys have thoughts about Pokemon, let us know in the chat. Also, let us know after the fact in the comments as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be exciting in November when it launches in November 18th. So we got a couple months left. But yeah, as you guys get ready for Scarlet and Violet to hit, yeah, we got all these other additions to their other Pokemon games, like Pokemon Masters, Pokemon Cafe Remix, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite. So lots of Pokemon stuff to keep you busy until November 18th for sure. But yeah, I'm excited to get into another Pokemon game. It's been a while, I think, since I've like fully dived into one, and I'm excited to do that this November. Let's move on to our next story that we're going to be talking about tonight, and we got some financial results that Barry's going to tell us all about.
Yeah, so the Switch is, to say it's selling like crazy would be a understatement. It's now over 111 million units. So for the first quarter, it sold 3.43 million. That's across the Switch family. So 1.32 for the original, 1.52 for the OLED, and 0.59 for the Lite. What's really interesting about this is that it's closing in on the PlayStation 4. And Sony has just announced that they are no longer reporting PlayStation 4, which means they're ending production. I think PlayStation 4 is at 117 million. So the Switch is very likely and most likely going to surpass it. And it's crazy to think that it's so close. It's only 7.61 million units away from outselling the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. I still think they should be separated. I count them as two different systems, but the MPD doesn't. And the fact is, the Switch, very likely, if it passes Game Boy and Game Boy Color, which I don't see why it wouldn't, it will become the third best-selling game console of all time, just behind the PS2 and the DS. PS2 sitting at 155 million, and the DS is at 154.02. So it's got a little bit of ways to go before it reaches that. However, depending on how Nintendo handles the Switch, looking ahead at next year, we've got Breath of the Wild 2. We know that's going to move some units. We still have the holidays, for this year. We've got games like Splatoon 3, Pokemon. These are games that are going to move platforms. We very well could see Switch take number one, depending on how long Nintendo wants to last Switch. But yeah, it's crazy right now. They also talked a little bit about software. So some notable things: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 1.48 million for a total of 46.82 lifetime sales, which is crazy. Kirby and the Forgotten Land sold 1.88 million with a 4.53 million lifetime. That's fantastic for Kirby. Mario Strikers Battle League debuted at 1.91 million, and Switch Sports debuted at 4.45 million. That's just insane. And if Forgotten Land continues selling, it's only 600,000 units away from becoming the best-selling Kirby game since the original one, which was 5.13 million. Truly phenomenal numbers for Nintendo. This industry is absolutely not dead. What do you guys think about these stellar numbers overall?
Yeah, I think it's exciting to see possibly where they're going. I thought it might take them a little longer, but they're just keep climbing the charts, even though it's down overall year over year, but they're still selling like crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do for the future. I think is the big question of are they gonna switch it up? No pun intended. Or are they going to just like stick with this and have another number that says Switch 2 / Switch Pro or Switch Color, or whatever the
Switch Color
crazy name they come up with. But yeah, they're gonna combine those numbers. How's that all gonna go down? If they do, I feel like it's gonna totally just smash everything in the competition, and if those numbers get to be combined like they did the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. If not, yeah, and at the same time, I think we've talked about this numerous times before, but it's like, does Nintendo care? Like, we look at this and it's like, oh, are they gonna take the charts? What's that? How's it gonna be? And like, Nintendo's like, hey, it's doing well. I don't really care where it ends up. We're making money. They're selling like crazy. Like, we release another one, who cares if we cannibalize our own sales for another, system that's also going to be in the top 3 eventually. So,
I mean, I think it's safe bet to get into the top 3.
Yeah,
but the other
totally.
Ones,
the other thing that stood out to me was the software sales. I mean, those are great numbers, even though like it's down in general. Like, those are some solid numbers. It really surprised me that Switch Sports is sold so well. It surprised me that Mario Strikers sold so well, even though it's only like about 30% of the final game. Things like that. Like that's really cool to see. Well past 1 million. Like there was a big season of time Wii U period where we were like, it was awesome if a game's got to 1 million sold. But now we're seeing games debut, at 4.45 million. That's pretty incredible. So Greg, what do you think?
I want to see Xenoblade numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely really like the attach rate because I think like even though the Wii was super high in the charts, like Mario Kart Wii was like the highest selling, and that was only like 16 million or whatever. So it's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is almost nearly every 1 and 2 Switches. Like somebody has Mario Kart 8. Like
Mario Kart Wii was like at least 32 million.
Oh, was it? But yeah, but this is like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is at least closer to 50% of pretty much every Switch owner. Like every other Switch owner nearly has Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, basically.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart 8 was down considerably just because of Wii U, but Wii sold
Mario Kart Wii was 37.32 million.
Okay, well, yeah, then the Wii's total Wii's was like over 100 some million though, so it's only like a third.
101.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was closer to a third of like all Wii owners had Mario Kart Wii compared to almost nearly 1 and 2 having Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But yeah, that's really great to see that the games are going strong, and it's obviously why we don't see Mario Kart 9, and that's why it's pushed off to the side because Mario Kart 8 is doing so well. I mean, it definitely deserves it. It was an incredible game on Wii U, but it obviously way surpassed Nintendo's expectations to have lasted this long through the Switch's life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, though, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe needs that little asterisk that's there that should be there with Wii Sports and stuff because for every Black Friday, Nintendo's been pushing a bundle with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Every single one, it's the same bundle. So that does factor into why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has done so well. So that it's not just all on its own.
Yeah, but do you blame them? As well, if it works,
I think they should. I think they should add to that bundle, but still,
that's true.
That's one of the caveats. Like
at least they give you the newer.
Game.
At least they give you the newer Switch now, and not the launch one with the old battery.
But if you look at what is the number one most sold game of all time in terms of one version, it's Wii Sports. Mm-hmm. But that's has a caveat because it was sold with every Wii.
Yeah, at least in North America. Yeah,
North America, not in Japan.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I was surprised about with Switch Sports because it wasn't packed in, but it seems like people still buying it. So that's cool. I haven't bought it.
I mean, it is a pretty that one's always a lot more polished than like Strikers. I mean, I know so many people are demanding for Strikers to get like a new version, but I think we're really gonna see it like tail off already. I think it was all the initial fans like all so excited to get it at launch, and I think now we're gonna probably see where like in that decline where like Golf and even Aces kind of met the similar fates before too. So
it's really unfortunate. Yeah. I hope, because I know when Switch launched and we had the Splatoon and we had ARMS and other games like that, and kind of ARMS still got support, but it kind of trailed off. But Splatoon kept getting a lot more support. I hope that's not the case with Mario Strikers as a fan of that game. But yeah, I could see what you're talking about, Greg. It wouldn't surprise me if they went that way, even though I don't want it to happen.
Well, yeah, because it's obviously dependent on if they're going to be able to continue to sell and if there's going to be continued interest in it. Because it's one thing to want to be able to promise all these updates for the game, but if people aren't really going to play it, then is it really worth adding all the updates into the game? So it's like, well, we already got our money. We already got the money from the people that bought it, so they obviously thought it was a good value at the time.
No, I just had high hopes. I was dashed against the rocks. But let's move on then from sales into another presentation that happened. We have finally had a direct. Yay! It was a Splatoon direct. Splatoon 3, all focused on Splatoon 3, happened on August 10th. And it was a good it was a good direct, but it wasn't what we had hoped for. We talked about a full direct, all that stuff, and no, instead we got Splatoon 3 focused direct, which again, like, it was still good. So on that day, we found out that Splatoon is it's going to be launching on September 9th for an MSRP of $59.99, as we all probably expected it to be. A demo is going to be available on August 18th with limited play on August 25th, and a full Splatfest demo play starting on August 27th until the game officially launches. And that's going to be a Splatfest against 3 different choices: rock, paper, or scissors. And story mode returns if you are Agent 3 discovering the secrets of Alterna, Fuzzy Ooze, and the Mammalians. And that's the single player adventure. So I know Greg's excited about single player coming back. I don't think we doubted that it was going to come back, but it was nice to know a little more about it, because we haven't really, up until this point, hadn't really heard much about it at all. Turf War, of course, returns with new techniques like Squid Surge and Squid Roll. Salmon Run returns and will not be a limited time mode anymore. So I'm really excited about that, because I really enjoyed Salmon Run, but it was unfortunate that it was only limited time, but no longer. They'll also have both new and returning battle stages. The new hosts are named the Deep Cut Trio, and they host the Anarchy Splatcast. So looks like even Splatoon's jumping into the podcast world. Also, Splatfest will they'll return, but they're going to feature 3 choices, and the 3 teams will face off in a 4v2v2 tricolor turf war battle. So that's a new thing where the winning one will be in the middle, and the other 2 are going to be on the outsides. So 3 colors going on that. There's also going to be a new 1v1 competitive card battle game called Table Turf Battle that's been added to the game. Also, new weapons include a bow-like Stringer, and the Splatana Wiper, which sends blades of ink flying and when you swing the weapon. New weapons also include the Tacticooler. That's a special weapon, that presents your team with a refrigerator of stat boosting drinks, which is kind of odd to see, but hey, they're creative. Wave Breaker that unleashes sonic waves, and Reef Slider that is a shark-shaped explosion type weapon. Also, Anarchy Battle Mode has players competing for ranking in objective-based battles. There's a new lobby features that include 3D holograms of your friends, and you can jump into battles with them, and you can also go back and see replays of your old battles as well. There's also custom drawings and messages come back. And like I said, the replay area, so you can watch your old battles. You can also customize your splash tag, title, background, and badge. Splatnet 3 is coming back to the Nintendo Switch smartphone app. Yay, I guess, another reason to use that app. And that allows you to use your smartphone to check records, order in-game gear, and this new feature called Krusty Sean's Wonder Crust. And then new amiibo features will arrive this holiday. Figures will arrive this holiday season, which will allow you to the ability to save your in-game gear combinations, and also they're going to add new amiibo, and also Splatoon 2 amiibo will relaunch as well soon, and there's going to be free updates every 3 months for 2 years, and there'll be Splatoon 3 Invitational Tournament at PAX West starting on September 5th. So lots to cover for Splatoon 3. Greg, what did you think of all this information about Splatoon?
It actually sounds like they're going in the right direction. It doesn't seem like it's just more of like a expansion to Splatoon 1. So it's finally like we're getting a lot more levels. We're not being restricted, like with Salmon Run only being like part of the time. It's like they're listening to continue to add and develop stuff and move things further. So like, even like you were saying, Turf War was going to be like 3 colors now, so it's even adds a little bit more dynamic, almost like that 3D chess like is a thing, obviously. So it's very interesting to see that they're going and just expanding on some of the existing stuff and making sure to return all the like the fan favorite stuff as well. and still like throwing in new weapons and everything too. I thought the bow was really cool, and also that like swiper blade thing also sounded really neat as well. I am kind of interested to try those out. Just obviously being a Zelda fan, those are both like more Zelda, like a Link weapon, like a bow and like a sword type weapon. So it should be pretty fun to try both of those out.
Yeah. Barry, what do you think?
I really enjoyed Splatoon, and I never played Splatoon 2, and I watched this direct, and I thought it was really well done. There's a lot to it, like, and obviously a lot of it's like, oh, this is returning. It's like, well, I never knew it, never did it before. Is this something that I'm gonna play right away? I don't know. I wouldn't play Splatoon 3 without playing Splatoon 2 first, because my favorite part of Splatoon 1 was the story, like the single player. I really enjoyed what they did with those levels. And if I did anything, I'd probably open up Splatoon 2, download the Octo expansion because I get it for free with NSO, play through Splatoon 2 story and Octo expansion. Nothing else, wouldn't care about anything else, just play through that. And then if I popped open Splatoon 3, I would just play for the story. I wouldn't care about Turf War or any of that other stuff. Like, it's just I just prefer single player overall games to multiplayer, and to deal with, oh, this is happening now, and this kind of go back and got to go back. Like, there's just too many games. And what's unfortunate is this is happening in September, and Trails from Zero is happening in September, and there's no contest of which one of those I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll play it, maybe not this year. I don't know. But I'm really happy for the Splatoon players. I think it looks really cool. I love what they're doing. The card battle system actually made me more excited than actual Turf War, because I love card battles. I just like to see them thinking outside the box. And I love that the team is able to just go crazy. Like, make crazy stuff and just make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like Splatoon 1. I have played it a lot because I love how, like, I always liked FPS games, but as like Call of Duty and all that stuff got progressively, where it is today, like, I just, I don't know, I just kind of fell away from it, and just I'm not into it as much. But then Splatoon came along, and I'm like, oh, this is fun because it's easier entry point. And I really fell in love with it. But then Splatoon 2 came along, and I didn't play it as much, and didn't really play much through the single player either, even though I love the story from 1. I played through a few levels of the single player, and I put it down, and I haven't touched it in a long time. So I'm glad that it's not just a enhanced version of Splatoon 2. It seems like they really have taken it and made it a full version again. But at the same time, I think, yeah, I'm excited for the single player, like you guys said, but at the same time, like, you have to be picky and choosy. Like, I think what type of games like this you get into. And I think right now, you guys know, like, clearly my time is mostly spent on Rocket League and that kind of style of competitive game. That's like the game that I choose to go to. In past years, Smash was that game for me. But for people that are really into Splatoon, like, this looks like a fantastic version, and I hope that it does hit that e-gaming, esport world like I think they really want it to. I think it has a lot of potential there. But we'll see. But I think I probably, I don't know, I'm on the fence of where I lie with it right now, because I know I didn't play Splatoon 2 very much, and like you, Barry, like, you didn't touch it, but I'm like, should I even get this game? Because I'm like, I didn't play the last one very much. I'm gonna waste $60 on a game that's also gonna sit in my shelf again, and not do anything, because I don't have a museum like you, so it would just sit on my shelf. So,
the big difference between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. Big difference.
A number?
No, not that.
The Octolings?
The amount of games that you could play. When Splatoon 1 came out, we were on the Wii U, and our selection of games was very, very minor,
It's
very,
very true.
low. It was a drought. It was like, oh my God, something, versus the Switch. Even when
Yeah.
Splatoon came out in the first year, there were other games, other alternatives to play. And at this point, there's so many games to play that we're not starving at this
Yeah.
point.
That's a really good point. I hadn't even thought that Splatoon 1 came out on the Wii U. Yeah.
Yeah,
I needed something to play. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
But yeah, I definitely have seen that over the time. I mean, because like that was the same case with Mario Maker. Mario Maker was huge on Wii U because it provided like endless content, and you could easily play that as a solo Wii U game. But then on Switch, it kind of tapered off much quicker because there's so many other games to play. So it falls in that same kind of mindset. Even though it was like an earlier Switch game, I mean, it's still kind of hard to want to play the same game for months on end when there's constantly so many new ones coming out that deserve attention, that may want your attention as well. So
Hmm.
I will get 3 just because I enjoyed 2 and played the story, and I didn't finish the Octo expansion, but I got most of the way there. But I would have to probably go back and finish that before 3 comes out. But I definitely like finished the second game story and really enjoyed it. So I am looking forward to this one, and it's definitely a higher priority to me than like Strikers, which I wouldn't want to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like in the chat, Jake just said he didn't watch the direct, but glad that they're bringing back Salmon Run as a non-limited limited time mode, and probably his favorite mode from 2, and probably most likely this would be a Christmas gift. I agree. I think with Salmon Run coming back on a regular basis, like just being there, you can play it all the time. That might be something that gets me back into the game as well. I've come to find out like I really enjoy those kind of modes where player versus a group together and you're all coming into cooperative. That's really fun for me. It's just kind of that sort of experience together. So yeah, so we'll see. But it's cool that a lot of great stuff is coming to Splatoon 3, and yeah, we're not gonna have to wait very much longer. At the very least, jump on the demo that is coming out really soon and play in that first Splatfest. I mean, it's all free to jump in, all that at the beginning, and you can see if you like the game or not. So I'm glad to see they're doing stuff like that as well. All right, well, let's jump into some headlines before we move on. We got 4 different stories we want to just make sure that we highlight tonight and make sure that you guys know what is going on. So, Barry, kick us off with what's going on.
Yeah, so just announced in September, Disney's going to hold their annual D23 Expo, and they've announced for September 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern, they're going to have a giant Disney and Marvel games showcase. We have no idea what games exactly will be shown off, but there's this, is there going to be brand new games? Is it going to be set around the Disney Plus stuff? Are we going to see, new Marvel characters, we don't know what to expect, but you know, there's a lot of hype around this. I don't know if they're still working with Square Enix after what happened with Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, so there could be brand new partnerships. So a lot of people are hyped about what could be shown off. So just set your calendars and mark them and get ready to go because we'll see when D23 kicks off September 9th.
On the unfortunate side of things, emergency services were contacted for Nintendo headquarters in Japan. So pretty much an article shared on Video Game Chronicles states that a fire was reported at 1 p.m. local time on the 15th of August. Police were at the scene, and some furniture was damaged in one room on the building's 3rd floor, but nothing significant. Thankfully, there were no injuries or anything reported at the time of the writing either. There was a number of fire engines that showed up at the Kyoto building, and after employees actually were able to put out the fire themselves. So that was very scary to hear about that, and thankfully that sounds like everyone remained safe and everything went pretty well and was handled efficiently over there.
Well, let's go Mike positive. Positive. Let's get away from the negative. And if you can't wait till September 9th for the D23 Expo showcase, there's another showcase that's happening much sooner. In fact, it's happening this week on August 18th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Sunsoft is holding a virtual event. You might not have heard of Sunsoft, or it might have been a long time since you've heard from them. They've been a publisher and a developer for a very long time. They have stated, and I quote, "Although we have been quiet for some time, many things have been happening behind the scenes, and we are very excited to be able to finally share our vision for the rebirth of Sunsoft with fans old and new. And Sunsoft has had a game on the Switch, so it'd be interesting to see how many more games they're bringing. They're going to bring their old catalog back. They're going to bring new stuff or remakes. So I guess we're just going to have to tune in and see on August 18th.
And finally, kind of breaking news, Nintendo just tweeted out not too long ago that we're getting another Nintendo 64 game coming to the Nintendo Switch, and it's none other than the Wave Race. Wave Race 64 is coming to the Switch expansion pack on August 19th. So if you are a Nintendo Switch expansion pack member, subscriber, then you're going to be able to play Wave Race 64 on August 19th. That was one of my favorite 64 games. So cool to see that coming back. Barry, any thoughts on any of these stories?
I mean, the fire thing sucks, but I'm glad it was just one room and just some furniture damage. When I saw the article, I was like, oh my god! Like at first, I was like, oh god, like what the priceless treasures? Are people alive? What's going on? But thankfully, it was nothing major. A little small electrical fire, and hopefully, they won't happen again. As for the other stuff, I'm super excited. I love Wave Race 64. It was one of the first 64 games I played because it was I think November or December that year that it came out, and just it blew me away. Just the physics and just how much fun. And I still quote Wave Race 64 to this day. It's just so good. So I'm really hyped to just mess around with that again. And then I'm excited to see what Sunsoft has to showcase this week. And I don't play many Disney or Marvel games, but I'm interested to see what they're going to show off in September.
Yeah. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, obviously the fire thing was unfortunate, and glad it was pretty minimal and it was just furniture, obviously, and glad all the people and everything were fine. But obviously on the happier notes, like it's pretty cool to see Wave Race coming. I did rent it from Blockbuster quite a number of times just because I had enjoyed playing it, never enough to actually buy and own it. So it'll be nice to be able to revisit through that some more. It's coming out on my birthday, so it's happy birthday to me.
There you go. Nintendo heard it. That's why they released that tweet during the podcast recording. Yeah.
I know, right? I feel like now that we're starting to get like NSO tweets like during like our podcast, like I think we're synced up with them for NSO updates now. But,
that's right.
No longer Nintendo Directs. Now we're just getting NSO updates. In terms of Sunsoft, I don't really know too much about like their history and stuff, but we gonna need to see what kind of stuff they bring out there. The Disney thing does sound kind of interesting because I know the Disney games kind of always go in between studios, and Disney always like, oh, we'll shut down studios, or now we'll create new studios, now we'll outsource to studios, now we'll create new studios, now we'll shut those down again. So it's kind of interesting to see where they'll go this time around, and hopefully it might be in like an Epic Mickey 3. I mean, I'd be totally down to see something like that. That would be pretty incredible. Or like a Epic Mickey collection with 1 and 2 on it for Switch. That'd be really cool too. But yeah, I don't know where Disney will be going after now, so we'll have to wait and see.
Nice. Yeah. Same sentiments about the fire. Glad that no one's everything's okay and everyone's okay. More importantly, everyone's okay. I remember, like, I was telling Barry earlier before we started recording, when I saw the Sunsoft news, it was like, wait, there's still a thing. So that's cool to see them coming back, and hopefully, be a relaunch that will be really exciting as well. Wave Race, like I said, is exciting. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about what Disney's going to announce. I'm interested very heavily. Like you said, Greg, it's always confusing about where they're going with their gaming world. Sometimes, yeah, they're all over the place. But man, thoughts of a new Epic Mickey game sounds really awesome. Thoughts of bringing those back. I probably won't buy them again, but it'd be really cool to to have them, because I already have them. I don't often double dip with games, but it totally would make sense to, if they're going to bring Epic Mickey 3, to also bring remastered versions of 1 and 2. That'd be really cool. And I'm just hoping for Disney Infinity to come back. That's my dream, because I have a huge box of Infinity characters downstairs that they're just sitting there. So it'd be great to be able to use them again. And I just loved seeing what people created in that game. So I know a lot of people would be excited about Infinity to come back, but we'll see.
It's possible. They don't usually have a game showcase at their big show. So if they're doing this, they're not just going to announce one game like they would just do a trailer. They're doing a showcase, which means they've got a lot to announce and big stuff. And as for your statement there, Steve, how it would make sense if they're going to do an Epic E3, it would totally make sense for them to bring 1 and 2. We saw this with like Bayonetta 3 with 1 and 2. Yeah, well, but how come Nintendo doesn't always get this memo? Like Pikmin 3, where's Pikmin 1 and 2? Like it makes
Metroid.
sense. Metroid Prime 4,
Mhm.
exactly. It would make sense.
Yep. But now that we know that they are timing things according to the podcast, maybe they're actually listening to us. They brought back the moving cars in Coconut Mall. So here, we're pleading with you, Nintendo. Come on. You want to make some money? Re-release your games in package deals, and we will buy them. Like, people will buy them. They want them. Barry at least will buy them. He needs them for his museum. So, like, give him more reason to build more shelves. Come on, Nintendo.
You might even buy 2 copies, one for the shelf and one to play.
There we go.
I don't go for sealed games. I'll open and play.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on soon to what's coming up over the next couple weeks. But before we do that, just one more reminder: if you have not subscribed to us or followed us on Twitter, we're at NintendoFuse. Please do that, and also join our Discord. We have this growing community over there. We absolutely love connecting with all of you, and we'd love for you to jump in our Discord as well. All those links are going to be in the show notes, the YouTube description, and just click on those. Head over there, and we would love to connect with you there. Also, if you've not subscribed to NintendoFuse Podcast on your favorite podcast app, we just encourage you to do that, and also share it with other gamers that are out there that in your life that you think would also enjoy this kind of content. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button, the share button, the subscribe button, the bell. I think that's all the buttons. Hit them all, except for the dislike button. Don't hit that one. You don't want to dislike it. But all the other buttons, hit those. And we're very grateful for that. Let's look at what's coming up over the next couple weeks. Our next podcast is going to be recorded on August 29th. So it gives us a couple weeks for more games. And so we're going to be looking at scrolling all the games that are coming out over the next couple weeks, thanks to Metacritic and their list for us. So if you're watching the video version, you'll see those scrolling on the screen. A couple of the big notable games that stood out to me were Kirby's Dream Buffet coming out on August 17th. Pac-Man World Repack comes out on August 26th, and right after our next podcast is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection on August 30th. So, Barry, any of these games or more that you're hoping to play over the next couple weeks?
My main goals over the next is to do Eurokill and finish that up. I just started, but I plan to finish that. And if I finish that, depending, I might do Pac-Man World. I only did the second one. First one looks good from the remake, so I might mess around with that. I might mess around with Splatoon 2 story. Maybe I'll be like, let me go get that knocked out before, because I don't think it's going to take too long to do that story. But it also depends on when Final Fantasy 14 patch 6.2 drops in August. So most likely that's going to take priority, at least until I do the new content, the new raids, the new story. So those are my main shots at Turtles Cowabunga Collection. I might dive into that and mess around when it comes out just to relive my childhood. But at the same time, I'm found beat 'em ups to be a little more on the boring side. I just get tired of the same thing over and over. Whereas a kid, I loved it. But I might do it for like the Game Boy games. I only really did follow the Foot Clan as a kid. That was the only one I officially owned. And while I own them all now, I just really haven't booted them up. So I might go ahead and do that just because it's something I haven't done before, as opposed to replaying games that I've beaten a ton of times.
Gotcha. Jakester says going to be starting Metroid Prime 3 this week and looking forward to doing more Dream Team, Fire Emblem Echoes, Mario Galaxy, and Triangle Strategy. So, yeah, if you haven't let us know in the chat what you guys are hoping to play over the next couple weeks, please let us know. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, I'll probably be more just items off the backlog. I did get Kirby Star Allies to work on, and hopefully can make some more progress there. And then there's some other games I want to jump back into. I mean, I would like to do more like Fallen Angel, as I said before, and then I'd also want to. There's some other games I have been putting off playing too that I have from like premium that we've already released and whatnot, like Phoenotopia Awakening and some other ones that I haven't really dove too deep into. So I'm really hoping to get some more time on those once I get through some of like the necessary ones for upcoming like game chats and other stuff that we have going on there. But probably Cowabunga Collection will probably be the next one that I purchase, and kind of excited to replay the NES Turtles 1 game again. So probably one person that will probably that'll be like the one that I boot up first. But
I forgot that about you, that you like that one better.
Yeah.
Like you're one of the few that
Weird
are
one.
going to boot that one up first, I'm sure.
yeah, I did just watch like a interesting YouTube video on like the water level from that game and just like how bad like the
Yeah.
programming and code and stuff was. But it's I don't know. I'm still kind of excited to replay that first game again and trying to see if I can beat it like I did it back in college. So it's I don't know. There's something weird like I just really enjoy like that kind of style game, even though it's like brutally difficult, unnecessarily so. And but I feel like the cheats are there. Like you can refill the pizza on any of the different sewers, and it's a lot of fun to me. I don't know. It's just one of those games that really hits hard nostalgically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia there too for me. Yeah, I don't mind the game. I don't like, it's not my favorite, but I don't hate the game at all. And yeah, there's a ton of nostalgia because, when it came out, and like I was just really super happy to have Turtles on my Nintendo. Like that was awesome. I didn't care that it didn't look like the one in the arcade. And eventually when we got that one, I was even more excited. But yeah, it's just cool to play Turtles on my Nintendo.
Yeah, but that was really cool, and that's hopefully I might play some more Shredder's Revenge. I don't know. I'll see if time allows. But
Nice. Yeah, I will probably continue to, I'll obviously plug away on Rocket League and stuff like that. Probably maybe get a little more time with Fallen Angel. We'll see if I actually beat it before next podcast. I'm not gonna have a ton of time to dive into like any like big significant games over the next couple weeks, but I did recently, actually just last night, picked up or downloaded, didn't really pick up, downloaded 2 games that were on the eShop that were free. Have you guys heard of Cyber Protocol Prologue or Punch Man? Not One Punch Man, not like the anime. This is just Punch Man. Both of those are free on the eShop, so I downloaded those, so I'll probably check those out. Yeah. It may be like, a 5-minute experience, but I figured I'd go ahead and download them since they're free. But yeah, Cyber Protocol Prologue and Punch Man. So yeah, I'll let you guys know what I think on the next episode. Like I said, it might be only 5 minutes of experience, but hey, they were free, so why not?
You get your money's worth.
That's right. Nice. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Before we wrap up today, Greg, anything going on in your world over the next couple of weeks that you want to let our community know about?
As a person that works for Premium, like you've known that Rack and Ruin will be up and coming, so I'm going to be trying to contact some more game stores to hopefully try to carry more of Premium's products over the time. So obviously, if you're interested in some of the games, be sure to check out the website and get some pre-orders in for Rack and Ruin. It's a very incredible game, and hopefully you get the opportunity to enjoy it because it's a very well designed game that plays very smoothly.
Cool. And that was kind of a surprise that you guys launched that. No one really saw that coming, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a shadow drop.
Nice. You're following in the the footsteps of Nintendo, doing a lot of shadow drops this summer. So, Barry, what's going on in your world?
Other than obviously Rack and Ruin being up for pre-order right now, so definitely go check that out. I will, right before our next podcast, I'm actually going to be at a show. So I will be at Retro World Expo, which is August 27th to 28th. That's in Hartford, Connecticut. So I will be over there with our good buddy Joe our marketing manager at Premium, but also the head of Video Games Monthly. We do have a panel Saturday night. I believe it's at 5 p.m. So if you're going to be in the Hartford area, you're going to go to Retro World, please come by the Premium Edition booth. Come say hi. I'd love to chat with you. Let me know, hey, I listen or watch NintendoFuse. It'd be awesome just to talk. So very much looking forward to that and hanging out with some people again. And hopefully I don't get sick this time and I could actually make this show. But yeah, that's my main thing, other than just stuff around the house and work and talking with developers. Met with some developers last week. I'm meeting again with more developers this week, and just getting to just make our small little mark in the gaming industry is always fun.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty busy over the next couple of weeks, but probably not a whole lot of. Hopefully, we'll get some video game stuff in for sure. At least a couple minutes of those other free games. But before we do wrap up, I want to remind you guys, if you want to support NintendoFuse, if you have not done so, to subscribe and all that stuff and share it. But also, we have a couple other ways for you to directly support us. We do have merch. So if you ever want to buy some NintendoFuse merch, you can head to the link in our show notes, the YouTube description, also directly on NintendoFuse.com. We have a link there for our merch, and you can head over there, and a portion of that goes directly to us. And also, we are an affiliate with Ripped Apparel, and the link for that is also in our show notes and the YouTube description. And a portion of what you buy over at Ripped Apparel goes to us as well. They've got some awesome video game related merchandise, some shirts over there, but also a bunch of other things too. It's kind of a cool site that has kind of a mashing up of several different things. So some of you that watched the video version, you saw I have a shirt that's Dr. Mario, so it's Doctor Strange and Mario put together. So they have a lot of stuff like that that's over there. And so if you'd like to buy some cool merch and also support us here at NintendoFuse, you can head to that link. But thanks to Ripped Apparel, and thanks to all of you for being here for another episode of the NintendoFuse Podcast. Like I said, our next live recording is going to be on August 29th. We'd love for you to join us in the live chat, both on YouTube and Twitch. And share this with others that you think would enjoy hearing all about video games, and especially Nintendo news and reviews and all that sort of thing. But until next time, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.